Okay guys, I am back with another meal prep video. And again, this is not a healthy item. I figured I would do something that all of you stuck at home with your kids. It might be something fun that you can even let the kids help with, especially during this quarantine time. So I don't remember the brand and I've already thrown the package away, but I just bought frozen dough, and normally I would tell you to get Rhodes frozen dough, that like they just have the little frozen rolls, and you would have to let them rise. But these were just little biscuits, and they're dough, and they were frozen. So I just bought a bag, I think of like 24. And I just set them out on plastic. I did cover them initially with plastic so they would just soften and rise a little bit on their own. And we are going to make these. They're already wrapped in plastic. I've got little plastic wrap around them so I can throw them in the freezer. But we're gonna make these little pizza pockets. And actually they're pretty big. They turned out pretty big. This one's even bigger. So my kids are excited about them. But it's something easy and that you can do and throw in the freezer, especially during this time where we're stuck at home. You can let the kids help with these. You can package them up, you can toss them in the freezer. That way, they're not gonna go bad. You don't have to eat all of them within a couple days, that kind of thing. So you can just package them up. I just put one layer of plastic wrap around these. I almost would maybe put a layer of foil around them as well. I don't know, just to keep them as fresh as possible, but that's what we're making today. So it's a little bit messy, and I just sprinkle some flour on my hands before I'm messing with the dough. And then on the plastic wrap, I'm just gonna mash out the dough that I've got here. And I just continue to add flour to my hands. I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna press the other side, add a little more flour to my hands because it will get sticky and stick to you. Let me flip this one over. And then, okay. And you can see here, I've got this pan already. Because I've been making these, it's already got some ready. So you just press it out as much as you can without getting holes in the dough. Then I have made, this is just ground beef and a jar, I think it was 1.5 pounds of ground beef that I used this time, and a jar of pizza sauce. You could add whatever you want in this. And then I will add this Mexican, oops, as I drop it, this Mexican blend cheese, but you can do mozzarella, you can do whatever you want. You can add mushrooms and olives and peppers and onions, whatever. My kids would pick all of that stuff out. So this is just plain pizza sauce and ground beef. And you're just gonna take, this is a tablespoon, so I take a heaping tablespoon of the meat and just kind of have it in the center. I'm gonna put just a little bit more in there, actually, because these are gonna be really big. Typically, okay, so let me tell you this. Typically, if you use a Rhodes dinner roll, the frozen dough, you would just use one roll. You would flatten it out. You would put the meat in the center with your cheese, and then you would pinch it all around and just use one roll. With these rolls that I got, because it's all the store had, because people are buying crazily because of the pandemic, these rolls were a little bit smaller, on the smaller side. So I am using 2, which makes the pizza pocket pretty large, but you guys know I have teenagers, so for them, it works great. It's perfect size. But for little ones, you could probably cut in half and give, if you've got, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, they each could have a half. So I've got the meat and the cheese right here on the first roll, and then I'm gonna lay the other one over top, and then I'm just gonna pinch up around the sides so that they seal together, because you don't want them to come apart while it's baking. I'm just gonna pinch this. And it's not necessarily gonna look pretty, but let me tell you, they are so, so good. And I did try one of these. I started making these yesterday, and then I just pulled out the rest of the dough this morning when I got up. And before I ate breakfast, I set all of these out so that they could thaw and rise just a little bit. I'll do one more so you guys can just see. Here we go. Okay, so there's one. Let's go ahead and press out a second one. And you probably could use one of these and just put way less meat and cheese on it. If you have little bitty kids and you just don't want to use the whole thing. I just like that I can easily pinch all of this together and kind of mash it down so it's just in a little pocket. So then flip these over. I like to put a little bit of flour on these also because I don't want them. This is a nonstick pan I'm gonna bake them on, but I don't want them to stick at all. So I just add a little bit of flour. It does not dry them out. Let me put this on here. Can you guys still see that? Yeah, a little bit. There we go. And then we're gonna do a little more. I've already made, like I said, I started this yesterday, and I just put this meat in the refrigerator and I heated it up like 30 seconds just so it's easier to move around today while I'm adding it to the rest of these little pockets that I'm making. Okay, so we did that. Add the little bit, I mean, just a sprinkle of cheese, you guys. I promise, I'm a cheese lover. I over cheese everything. But these do not need a ton of cheese, I promise. And then you're just gonna lay that over top. And you can tell, yesterday I maybe didn't let the dough rise long enough, and so it was not super soft to deal with, so I struggled maybe a little bit making them. By the way, my mom's recipe, normally she uses homemade dough, but she gave me this idea if I wanted to make it the quick way and just use the frozen dough, makes it faster. So you see how quick those are? I don't know if you can, messy pan, but if you see those, like they are perfect little pockets, little pizza pockets. But that's what I've been working on. I thought maybe you guys would enjoy this too. Something that you could do with your kids. Of course, it's gonna get a little messy, but if you have like a large bar pan, you could give each of your kids a non-stick pan to use, and let them make their own little pockets. And they're just not hard, guys. Super simple. My kids are so excited about them. Like I said, I've made several and I've already thrown them in the freezer. They look gorgeous when they bake up. But maybe add a layer of foil over this too if you think you're gonna leave them in the freezer for 2 to 4 weeks or maybe a month. But they are delicious, super simple to do. If you guys make these, share it on social media and tag me either on Facebook or on Instagram, Renee Parks Fitness, either way. And I hope you guys enjoy these. I want to hear about them. I want to see how yours turn out. And if you use different frozen dough, like I said, I can't remember the brand that I used. It was all that they had in the freezer, but these have turned out so great. So let me know. I am excited to hear. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.